Why do you make it so hard to love you? Strandberg just announced their new line of N2 guitars only a few weeks after they announced some updated colors for their budget essentials line. Now is as good of a time as ever for me to share with the internet my schizo high-energy autism theory about Strandberg guitars. Let's go. This is my Bowden Metal NX6 that I bought on New Year's Day of 2025 for $2,100. That was the first time I ever touched a Strandberg, let alone any headless guitar, and I knew immediately that I needed to take that bad boy home more than that hooker on the corner for $3. And ever since then, I have been pushing this little guitar onto hundreds of thousands of guitar players through my Instagram reels, comments, and private messages. And up until recently, I've been telling people to specifically save up and get the nicest model that you can afford. But now, for reasons that we're about to get into, I think that the only thing that you should do with the Strandberg is to buy the Essentials lineup and swap for whatever pickups you want. I want to be very clear that I find it hard to justify buying a Strandberg any other way than that. No ambiguity. It is not worth it for you to buy from the standard or original lineup, let alone the Pliny artist models and all of that. Let me get into it. When you buy a guitar, you are paying for two things. You are paying for the spec list and then something that cannot be measured on paper, which is the build quality, the execution, and the overall fit and finish and craftsmanship. So bear that in mind as we go forward and look at the four different tiers that Strandberg has. You've got the Essentials lineup for around $1,000, the Standard for $1,800 to $1,900, and then the Original for around $2,400. The fourth tier is the Japanese artisan-made ones, and then the Swedish custom models that are all well above $6,000. And for the purposes of this video, we are not going to be talking about those. We are only going to be talking about the Essentials, the Standard, and the Original. And within that, the N2 is found in the Standard and the Original lineup as like a plus, if you will, like a Standard Plus or an Original Plus. There are going to be some key features and specs among all Strandbergs, regardless of the tier model, that make up what I like to consider the Strandberg experience. Every Strandberg is going to have the same ergonomic body design, the same Endure neck, a 20-inch flat fretboard radius, and 24 stainless steel frets. And in my opinion, it's a culmination of these factors that make a Strandberg feel different than just any other regular guitar that's been decapitated. This feels like a different headless guitar than, say, the Ibanez Quest. And it's important to note that I do not think that the slight multi-scale design plays a part in what makes a Strandberg feel like a Strandberg. So what do you actually get when you're paying more for a Strandberg? Well, this is where we run into all the problems that have sent my brain into overdrive. And before we get into this, I don't have a problem with expensive guitars that have well exceeded the point of diminishing returns, hence why I bought a PRS Custom 24 core model, and it's my favorite guitar ever. Okay, going from a Strandberg Bowden Essential to a Bowden Standard is going to get you the 0 fret, it's going to give you the multi-scale design, and it's going to give you on the N2 Standard Seymour Duncan, Pegasus, and Sentient pickups instead of the Strandberg OEM pickups found on the regular Standard. I hope you're following me, this is confusing, I know. And again, that's for $900 more. Okay, and going from a Bowden Standard to a Bowden Original is going to get you the chambered swamp ash body, you hear that? Chambered swamp ash body. And with the non-N2 model, it's going to upgrade you from those OEM pickups to Fishman Fluence Moderns. And the N2 lineup also introduces titanium reinforcements in the neck instead of these carbon fiber ones. It has a more curved top, as if this isn't already curved right here, and it upgrades you from the Fishman Fluence Moderns to these new Fishman Strandberg Custom whatever. And the N2 line has apparently upgraded the hardware as well. And again, the N2 lineup is going to be about $100 to $200 more compared to the one before it, whatever you call it. So that covers specs, and before we get into it, if it's worth it or not for you to upgrade, let's remember that there's two things that you're buying with the guitar, and let's look at the fit, the quality craftsmanship, and the overall execution, if you will, because this is where we start running into the problems. My theory is that all Strandbergs are not just built in Indonesia, but are built by the same team in the same factory, in the same room, with the same tools, using the same methods, regardless of it's the $1,000 Essentials lineup, or the $2,400 Original, or even the $3,000 Pliny models. All of them feel like they have the exact same damn fit and finish, and to be honest with you, it is not nearly as good as other guitars that cost $2,000 on the market. And that is the problem here. This does not feel like as high quality of a guitar as a $2,000 PRS S2 or an Ibanez Prestige or a Kiesel that's been bare boned, stripped down with minimal upgrades. Just like this one right here that I only paid $1,800 for, but blows this little Strandberg out of the water in terms of that quality craftsmanship, fit and finish. Many people actually consider Strandbergs to feel relatively cheap, and that has nothing to do with the fact that they're built in Indonesia or that they feel lightweight. That's not what people are talking about. The same issues features that are found on the budget essentials line are found on the higher end models. We're talking about very cheap hardware. We're talking about the high E string always rolling off those damn frets. Many people just note that they feel generally cheap, like how the sticker peels off on a $2,100 guitar. They used to bake that logo into the body, but now you're even getting this little shitty sticker on a $2,500 N2. What is going on? Your hand isn't even rubbing there. It's not doing that. It's doing this. It would be like if that PRS SE on the wall had the same build quality as this PRS Core model. The only difference would be the specs on this one. That's what I'm trying to say with Strandberg. When you pay more for that essential to go to the standard or the original, all you are doing is paying for more specs. You are not paying for a more finely built instrument. And in my opinion, it's very hard to justify doing anything else other than buying the cheapest model and just swapping the pickups to whatever you want. Even after that, it is going to be cheaper, far cheaper actually, than the new N2 line of originals or standards. And like I said, even with the essentials lineup, you're getting all of those key Strandberg features. It is going to give you what you want from a Strandberg and not break the bank, and you're going to get whatever sonic profile you want from the damn pickups. So while all of that was very harsh criticism of Strandberg, I want to say that I still believe that every single guitar player on the planet should try one of these at least once and hopefully own one. Owning a Strandberg has completely changed my relationship with playing guitar after having done this for 20 years now. And prior to this little thing, I had completely sworn off headless guitars because, let's be honest, they're ugly, they don't have any aura, and they would probably commit a mass. As in, the design of this thing is so fucking good that it kind of supersedes all of the criticisms that I just levied against it. And this is made evident by how little I play my PRS these days. Every single guitar player should try a Strandberg at least once, and I'm not talking just any headless model. It has to be a Strandberg because the culmination of the features of this come together in beautiful harmony. It's not just the flat fretboard. It's not just being headless and lightweight. It's not just the body. It's everything. I have improved more in the 9 months of owning this instrument than I have in the past 20 years at this. This video isn't meant to criticize Strandberg or to stop anyone from buying their more expensive models. In fact, I don't know how to give this guitar any higher praise than to say any higher than to say that every single guitar player needs to try one at least once in their life. If Strandberg could make their guitars feel more finely built like guitars in a similar price bracket, as in not having little stickers like that, having better hardware, fixing this high E string rolling off that seems to be prevalent on every fucking Strandberg, then we'll be having a much different conversation. A little addendum here, I obviously haven't tried every single Strandberg model out there myself, but I have gathered this information from scouring the web, internet comments, a lot of people personally messaging me to report these things, and yada yada yada. This has been a rather odd video for me to make because I love this guitar so much. I want more. I want a 7 and an 8 string model. However, I just find it very hard in this case to justify the massive price gap between the different lineups. I honestly think your best bet, if you're not going to get the essential, is to save up and get one of the custom models, the Japanese or the Swedish built ones. People have reported to me that those feel and fit completely different. They feel like you would expect from a $6,000 to $7,000 guitar, which is good. It obviously should. But this should also feel like a $2,000 guitar. Like and subscribe and make sure you follow me on Instagram. We're gonna be posting a lot more of these long format videos because we are going to take over the music market because right now there's an energy deficit and I don't have any tattoos or piercings to make up for a lack of a personality, so I'm gonna do it with my high energy, schizo, undiagnosed autism. That's what my mother said. That's why I'm allowed to say that. I love you guys.